horse. It's awful, right? Sure. But you just watch it, you go, that's enough, I'm done. I watch it, I have like 5 researchers behind me going, okay, let me explain to you the backstory of Mr. Hands. There was a loophole in the bestiality laws in the state of Washington. Anyway, there's this farm where people go to ban animals, mostly small animals like chickens and things like that, and they film it. One day this guy shows up, he's like, I want a horse. And I'm like, whoa, easy, cowboy. But the customer's always right, and they have a reputation to uphold. So let's saddle up, let's try it. And I can tell about halfway through stroke 1, this is a bad idea. Anyway, luckily the horse is a quick lover. He finishes, they're like, we need to get you to a hospital. So they rush him to Grey's Anatomy. It's the weirdest time to kiss. You know, when we started talking about horse rape, and I didn't know. Very weird. I saw that. I moved now. You're a doctor in Passion of the Christ. The point is, you don't need to know any of this stuff. I do. So I just tell it to you, so. The end. No, please, your end was way funnier than what mine is going to be. Here's one thing you'll never read about me. Comedian Tosh tried to kill himself. I'll get that right. I'll jump off an overpass with a noose around my neck, waiting for a semi to come with both wrists slit, or smacked with a shotgun in my mouth. Nobody's going to be like, I just think you want attention. Pretty sure he was done. I love to watch movies on DVD, but I don't need all the extras. I don't need to see deleted scenes or alternate endings, because they're never that different. They're just longer, and a few more swear words, and a boob that the general public probably couldn't handle. Like, if you're going to give me alternate endings on a DVD, you better blow me away. When we watched The Mighty Ducks with my nephew, we watched the alternate ending, where they lose the hockey game. Yeah. Then they go back to the locker room and start doing blow and jerking off. Emilio is dead in the shower. You're like, holy shit. Did you see the alternate ending? They went in a completely different direction. Disney was smart with the original. That alternate ending was a little heavy. That's Disney always sneaking in subliminal stuff in our movies. There's a penis on the Little Mermaid box. You try to draw Ariel for 6 months and not put a dick somewhere. It's impossible. You ever have somebody close to you die and you're like, oh, last thing I said to them was, I hope you get dick cancer. Agreed? That's an awful last thing to have said. That's why I'm trying not to say it. I don't see my mother very often, but when I do, I end every conversation with something so profound, just on the off chance that she does kick the bucket, I can still have a relatively decent weekend. But it makes our conversations tough, because she rambles on about everything. I just finished a 500-piece puzzle, Daniel, and you won't believe this, I did the corners last. Sorry, Mom, that pause was because my head exploded. I gotta go, but I want you to know that you're a rose in a field of daisies. I want you to know that you can come out of the closet any day now. A little girl was killed in my neighborhood recently, which is sad, but it happens. Not usually in white neighborhoods, but it happens. Really, I think there's a pie chart somewhere that proves that. Small sliver, safer. He said the most segregated part of this country. She was killed on a street where people have been complaining for years that cars drive too fast. So reactive in nature as everyone is, after the horrible accident, they had a bunch of speed bumps put in. And I thought, wow, what a horrible way for their family to remember every time they drive down. Natalie! Your mother, I miss you so much. You are on suspension. No, I told you we should lease this car. Even in the afterlife, she makes us fight. Good riddance. You see what happened there? In the beginning of this made-up story, you felt bad for the family. Now at the end, you realize they weren't fit parents to begin with. Let's move on to nonfiction. Remember when that kid was killed in Atlanta, Georgia at Six Flags, had his head cut off by the roller coaster? The first thing that went through my mind was, wow, how am I going to make this funny for everyone? Well, here goes. You don't know the story. He was on a church youth group. He was on a roller coaster ride. His hat blew off. After the ride was over, he's like, I'm going to go get my hat. And there was a big fence with signs that probably said, hey, cut your losses. He's like, not today. He went over. And there was a second fence with more signs, like bad shit. Come on, knock it off. You can't tell me how to live, signs. And he went over that fence. And on the other side, the story ends. Did he get the hat? I'd like to think he did. Right? Why not? Like a small silver lining? I told you I get it. And I know he was on a church youth group and they don't believe in evolution, but that kid was getting picked off sooner or later. And if I were a family member, I would say 15 years is a pretty good run. But I'm half full. The real story, which nobody will talk about, and for good reason, until now, is how he was decapitated. It was a suspension roller coaster. A young lady, 25 years old, her leg is what decapitated her. Shattered her leg in 8 places. She had 3 surgeries and wore a cast for over a year. Now, I don't know if you've ever worn a cast or not, but everybody and their mother will come up to you. How'd you break your leg? She gets to be like, I fucking punned the guy's head 90 yards. Stop that, Janikowski. Oh, man. He missed 3 field goals and fucked up my parlay. Biggest foot in the NFL, and he fucking shanks it one right after another. Was Romo holding? Somebody doesn't know that Romo's overrated. Keep putting all your hopes on it, huh? Your best hope for the Cowboys is Jerry Jones having a stroke. He is a tick away from Al Davis. People have always told me my whole life that I have a sick sense of humor. What do you say to that besides his relative? Like, I don't know who you're comparing me to. Carrot Top? Yeah, I'm blue. To my circle of friends, I am tame. And my sister is off the charts. She's not a comic, but she's twisted. And we play practical jokes on each other constantly. Oh, I got her so good a few weeks ago. I replaced her pepper spray with silly string. That night, she got raped. And she called me the next day going, you motherfucker! You got me so good. As soon as I started spraying the face, I'm like, Daniel! This is gonna hurt! Fuck it. All right, you guys, thank you very much for